So as most of you guys know, I am extremely obsessed with the Back to the Future trilogy. It's my favorite trilogy. I frankly think it's the best trilogy that has ever been made. Go ahead and
Cancel me.
Go ahead and, try to prove that wrong. You can't. That is a factual statement right there. So, when I heard that they were re-releasing the movie for the 40th anniversary, I had to go watch it in theaters. And when I watched it in theaters, I didn't just watch it in one of those, simple, basic bitch seats. No. We splurged. We sat in the 4D chair. Well, 4D isn't actually what it's called. It's called DBOX, which, that's a very interesting thing to call it. It's basically 4D. The chair moves, vibrates with a lot of the intense scenes in the movies, and that was my first time ever trying the DBOX seat. And holy moly, it was awesome.
Holy shit!
So as a huge fan of the trilogy, this was an awesome experience to finally see the movie that I've seen hundreds of times in my home in a theatrical setting for the first time, and with the added intensity of the 4D chair. And I have to say, watching this movie in the theaters was actually incredible. It was so fun to finally sit in a theater and watch this movie on the big screen, right? This movie came out way before I was born. This movie came out before, this movie came out when my parents were children, with kids, teenagers in their early 20s, I think. I don't know. But this was just crazy for me as a 20-year-old in 2025 to go and watch it in the theaters. And unfortunately, when this video releases, it will have passed. Probably should have recorded this and posted it a little bit later, or sooner, so you guys could have, jumped on the chance to go watch this in theaters. But I hope that a bunch of you were able to go and see it in theaters, because this was awesome. So I think I was 13 when my parents bought me the DVD set. It had all 3 movies and the special bonus disc. Side tangent, might make this a side video. I don't have diagnosed autism, but I'm pretty sure my parents thought I did, because we would watch all 3 movies, and then I would go and watch the bonus features on the living room TV, and I'd be like, Mom, look. Like, I would stim over that shit. I would actually obsess over the bonus features, how it was made, the cut scenes, all of that. And that's just awesome. I love doing that. I think I'm going to actually make that a side video. What I'm getting at is the quality that the DVD set had compared to in the theater is crazy. I feel like whenever I put in the DVD and I watch it at my house, I'm watching it on the VHS, because whatever version they played at the theater was perfect. I thought I was watching like a brand new movie. Like, genuinely, sitting in the theater, I thought, it looks like it released 5 years ago. That's how high quality the actual movie was, visuals wise, and which is crazy, because I love Spider-Man. That's not, you can see the Spider-Man poster in the back. I love Spider-Man, and my parents bought me the entire collection of every Spider-Man movie at the time in 4K, and I've watched the shit out of all of them. And I will say that with upscaling to 4K, you can definitely see where the upscaling tech kind of, it didn't get it just right. So I don't think they even 4K upscaled this, or if they did, however they did it was just incredible. Like, it was perfect. I was trying to find spots that looked like, oh, okay, yeah, now I can tell this is a 4K upgrade. Like, this is not the original movie. This is just a 4K remaster of the original film. No, I think I might try to do some research, but I'm going to spitball here. I think they just used the original film, like, from 1985, and just replayed it, right? And that might not be true. Maybe I'm smoking on copium. And maybe they did use a, like, really high definition 4K or, like, modernized version of the film. But holy shit. I genuinely don't think that I can watch Back to the Future at my house anymore without having to upgrade to the 4K version, because this was like, it was picture perfect. There was, like, Like I said, it felt like a movie that came out 5 years ago. That's how visually perfect it was. And that's just awesome, because I was a bit worried. I thought it was going to be like the DVD, like somebody just popped in their DVD player and projected that on the big screen. No. She was good.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
So besides the, like, incredible visuals and the clarity of the film, let's talk about the 4D seats. Let's talk about the DBOX seats.
Oh yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
And holy moly, like, I'm not trying to glaze. I'm not trying to glaze it, but I genuinely don't think that I can watch another movie without that. And thankfully, my parents and I, we got it on discount day. We got our seats on discount day, so we paid $10 a seat for the special, like the primo special seats. And oh, the footage that I show, right? I am smack dab in the middle. Like, I am perfectly in the middle. Crazy. I felt like I was the only one in the theater. Awesome.
Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah!
So you're probably wondering, you know, if you've never sat in the DBOX seats, in the 4D seats, what's the point? What do they even do? Well, they gyrate, they move. They move to the side with certain scenes, they vibrate, and they shock you. They don't like zap you, it's not the electric chair, but they like give you little jolts to further immerse yourself into the film. And I didn't know how they were going to do it in this film. I didn't know how they were going to use Back to the Future. I obviously knew that, like, the car scenes, they were going to use that. But there were a lot of times where it would just be little vibrations that, like, were like, oh, shit, okay. Like, I'm explaining this terribly. But if you have not experienced it for yourself, please go watch it. You know, please go see it. You know, I'm saying this on the 4th, and this video is coming out on Saturday. Time's passed. So, you know, you might have to wait another 10 years. Unfortunately. But if you did watch it with the 4D seats, or just in general, let me know what you thought. But no, I think my favorite use of the vibrations in those seats was the opening, when Marty is using the loud ass speaker with his guitar. You know how, you know, turns the dials, that entire sequence, the seat was in the perfect sync with it. So there's a little vibration, and then when it goes, it was like vibrating, and then as soon as he hits that shit, boom, just vibrates. And I'm, dude, I can't explain how fun this was. One, for this to be my first time watching this in the theaters, and two, to have the immersification, is that a word? Am I using that word right? The immersion that the 4D chairs brought to the experience was incredible. And I'm really happy that I went and saw it, because originally I thought, oh, they're just re-releasing it in theaters. I've seen this movie 100 times. I love this movie, but is it really worth going to the theater and paying like $60 or $70 to go and watch it in the theater? Is that really worth it? Yes, it is. That was my favorite viewing of Back to the Future, and I just can't put into words how fun, how enjoyable it was, especially on the scale that the screen was. And when I watch movies, like when I watched The Amazing Spider-Man, back in the day, back in high school, what I used to do, I used to like actually obsess over little things in that movie. I would like scan. I wouldn't even be watching the movie at that point. I'd be watching the background. I'd be watching little things, pointing them out in my head and being like, oh shoot, I didn't notice that last time. Okay, log that. Like, am I just obsessed, or do I have autism? And I'm not trying to make fun of autistic people or, you know, belittle people with autism, but like, do I have autism? Do I have a pinch of it? Or am I just unique? I don't know. But that's what I was doing in this film. And there was multiple times while watching that I was able to point out to myself things that I had never seen before. Like the opening clock scene where it shows all of Doc's clocks, and I never noticed the one with the guy hanging from the hour hand. How? That's perfect. Like, I don't understand why I didn't recognize that when I've watched it before. It's like literally a reference to the movie, right? And also, it's towards the end of the movie when Doc is on the clock tower and he is trying to reattach the metal wire. Goodman, the Weddlemire. So when he walks out of that little door and then he gets on the stoop with the gargoyles, I never noticed that there were pigeons in the room, like going up to the actual outside of the clock. I never realized there was pigeons in there. And you're probably thinking, wow.
What is it with you anyway? Somebody drop you on your fucking head?
Yeah, I might be, like extremely obsessing over the most minute details. But I guess that's what I like to do with movies that I've seen so many times. I just really enjoy sitting back and trying to find the little things. I didn't even talk about when the car drives. When the DeLorean drives in the opening scene, it's a sequence of the car driving back and getting into position before it drives directly at Doc and Marty. And that sequence, your chair literally goes when he's driving it with the remote control. Peak cinema. Peak cinema is the only way that I can describe this experience. And it was also fun to, actually have time to hang out with my parents, go to the theater. We haven't done that in a while. And watch a movie that we all love. So that was really fun. And that elevated the experience as well. So I recommend that you guys, even if you can't watch it in the theaters, depending on your area, it might still be in theaters, sit down and watch a movie with your parents or your loved ones and just hang out with them, spend time with them. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. Peace out.